about cronyism. Marlo Raynolds, former Liberal Party candidate and insider, was hired on as Chief of Staff to new Environment and Climate Change Minister Catherine McKenna. Yes, I guess the climate change part had to be added just to show how serious Canada is about global warming. According to sources, he was handpicked by Justin Trudeau, which really means he was chosen by Gerald Butts, the master puppeteer. Which makes sense since the two signed an oil sands moratorium together while Raynolds was the executive director at the Pembina Institute. Of course, the Pembina Institute is funded by George Soros via the Tides Foundation and has received over $2 million in grants over the last 10 years. It's a left-wing think tank that's main purpose is to shut the oil sands down. Of course, Raynolds' previous employment at BluEarth, a wind and solar energy company, and his being a board member of the Canadian Wind Energy Association is also solidification of his anti-oil stance. But remember that time he suddenly turned pro-oil at the Airdrie All Candidates debate?
The oil sands is a critical resource that I know very well and have worked 20 years to improve the environmental performance. I've worked with every major energy company. My colleague here probably has never even seen the boardroom of one of these energy companies.
So why did Justin Trudeau and Gerald Butts choose Raynolds for the Chief of Staff to McKenna? Well, because she has absolutely no experience as a climate warrior, so he'll be able to groom her into the position. In fact, McKenna is a human rights and international trade lawyer, really with no experience in politics or science whatsoever. But she does have one thing down, which probably helped her get her new position. Laggards. There's the progressive buzzword for Canada's environmental track record that both the NDP and the Liberals use consistently. It must be the key credential to become a party member. Just look to the new Natural Resources Minister, James Gordon Carr, whose only credential is being interested in green technology. But poor track record, laggards? Never mind that the Conservatives reduced greenhouse gas emissions while in power, and let's take a look at Canada's performance compared to the rest of the world. We're responsible for 1.6% of the world's GHG emissions. What about the US? 14.9%. And what about Trudeau's favorite dictatorship? 24.1%. Yeah, we're real laggards. Both McKenna and Raynolds attended preliminary talks in Paris for the climate change conference under the slogan, "Canada is back." But the problem with that is that Canada has never left and has been attending UN climate talks. The mainstream media won't tell you that though, and they won't tell you that McKenna is a human rights lawyer, not a scientist. Here's McKenna via Raynolds insisting she knows about science, and don't forget about the climate scare tactics. I want to be clear that Canada agrees the science is indisputable. We need urgent and greater action. Again, how does a human rights lawyer know anything about science? Unless Raynolds was coaching her from his bag of anti-Canada talking points, of course. Also, if you were wondering about carbon taxes, wonder no more. McKenna guarantees that along with provinces that already have carbon taxes, the federal government will be implementing one too. Contrary to what McKenna and Raynolds say, I think Canada agrees that we want to keep our money in our pockets. But now we can just expect more of what we're already seeing in Alberta. Activists in government roles waging a war on our good name as Canadians and our ethical resources. For TheRebel.Media, I'm Holly Nicholas.